eventually join us, I'm going to go over how I make loose Luxe ends on the ends of my wool dreadlocks. And I have a surprise that I'm doing at the end that we will experiment with when I finish the first one. So let's just jump right into it. Here we go. Okay, so first we're gonna go over some basics and then we will go over the details. Okay, so this is my pad. I have already pre-felted these Luxe ends, or these dreadlocks, okay? I leave the ends unfelted so that we can then felt them. I have already made one to give you a sense of what we're doing today. So this is a Luxe end, and yes, so and this particular wool, which is Wensleydale, has, once it dries, it already starts to get a little bit of a texture, which is pretty cool. Some wool can be given texture, and when it dries, it doesn't do this. It's still kind of straight, and you just kind of have to manipulate them, that I've shown in some of my other videos. But this one in particular I like because as it dries, it already does this. Okay, so let's go over Luxe ends. All right, so let me show you what I have. I've actually taken a little bit out of all of them. So this is a short-haired Surrey alpaca. This is kind of how it comes. Sometimes they come as pretty raw, and they'll have like vegetation and stuff in them and dirt. And then you pull some out. Let's see which one this one looks like. This one is this, so it's pretty short, but this is what this one is, okay? This one is Lincoln, and I already have some of it out. It's like kind of puffy and fuzzy. Oh, let me see here. And it's a little bit longer than the other one. Let's see, we'll keep track of what we have here. That's this one. Oh, a little bit closer here. Let's see, this one is, I believe this one is mohair. This one came colored. It looks like this. So not super long, kind of stretchy. Okay, got kids talking to me while I'm trying to go live here. I'm live, man.
Oh,
okay. Shh. Okay, this one is, I think this is also mohair. Although I thought I had some Teeswater here at one point. That fiber kind of is like this length. So these are ones I've accumulated over the years. They're not the ones that I find are the best, but I'm just trying to give you a sense of what you'll find. We have Wensleydale, and let's see here. This is Wensleydale when it's colored, and this is how long it can be. So let's look here. And then these are Dartmoor, sorry, locks. They look like this and like this. This is another this is the long-haired Wensleydale. This is a Surrey alpaca. Anyway, all of these create different stuff. This is another mohair here. And I want to give you a sense of how that measures. So I'm going to pull up my measuring stick. Okay, so this one is 7 inches. This one is 8 inches. This one's the longest. This one's almost 10. They kind of go small. A lot of times the Wensleydale and the Teeswater can be very long. This one's up to 12 inches. But as you can see, they're very thin, and they're more like of a curly loose end. So it just depends on what you like, and they will get a little fuzzy as they've been worn. I mostly seem to like the straight ones just because they don't get as crazy, but it is hard to find these in season. So the other problem that you will have is that if they're not in season, because these are sheared right off the sheep, they are not processed. That's why they come raw. They're called wool locks. And the problem is that, you know, in order to get them long, they have to let the sheep grow their fur, you know, their wool a bit longer. So sometimes you might have a supplier that gives you what you need, and then they run out and they don't have more for like 6 months or so. So, and then also a lot of places that have this kind and this kind, they come from the UK. So you can order them more often or you know, they're more accessible, but you have to wait. You have to pay the shipping costs and you have to wait. That's if you're in the States. So let's keep moving here. I'm going to do a couple of these. I'm going to demonstrate this one today. No, this one, I'm doing these ones. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to get another one. This is the one I just made and was showing you a picture of when I first started. So those two aren't quite the same. This one's, so if you're going to do a, you know, one lock, you obviously you want to do something that's going to match the lock. That's going to be about the same thickness. Okay. And at least on the same lock, you want to, or the same, you know, long piece, you want to have the same size lock so it fits. Okay, so let's see here. Where's my comb? So let me move those. I'm live right now. Okay. Okay. As you, if you've seen my videos, you know I always got stuff going on with the family. So if I respond, I apologize. I'm also getting dings. I guess I forgot to turn off my sounds for my Facebook Messenger, so I apologize for that. It's my first live, so we'll see how it goes, and I'll make adjustments next time. Did I do both these? I did. Yes. Okay. So I don't know if you noticed, but I was removing at least half of the wool that's in the ends of these. Okay. And here we go. That way the connection point is not bigger than where how you want it to be. And then I'm going to bring out my trusty pad. Oh, this is a little long. I don't know if you can tell, but here, you can actually tell on here. It's just a little long. It's going to end up being, the fibers will be too long, longer than I want it to be. So that's perfect right there. Fan it out on here. Take your first one. So if you want to brush these out, sometimes they need to be brushed out. This one doesn't necessarily, but I'm going to just demonstrate and get like any of the tangles out. So you just want to hold it tight because these fibers are not felted. You will pull the hair. So you want to hold it tight in one spot and then just brush out that part. Okay. And then you kind of want to spread it out like so and just kind of lay it on the other one. I'm actually going to cut this piece right there. Okay. And then give it a good spray. This is soapy water. It was warm and it's no longer warm. Okay. And I'm just folding. I'm folding the lock into the wool piece. And then roll up my sleeves here. And then you with a good amount of pressure, you want to roll this in that one spot where you have connected it. Okay. Now, if you want, you can lift your hand up and roll here. Or you can lift your hand up and roll here at the wherever your hand hasn't met, maybe, if you feel like it needs to be done. That's the connection there. Looks pretty good so far. Let's do one more. I'm gonna move this aside. Okay. Fan that out. Spray. Roll. Fold. It's more like a fold, kind of folding. You want to go until all the fibers right here are all the way, because this is just how you secure how this is rolled, okay? And then again, I'm rolling it. This gets a little crazy, but once this is dry and felted, you can unroll it. You can comb it out very gently. Okay, there's my Luxe end here. And it goes pretty much like this one. So now I have two of them. They look nice. I think they came out good. And, you know, when the way you process these, like when you dye them and go through the process, they will get kind of like kinky or tangled. Let me give you an example of what I mean. This is not the same, although it's very similar. It's Navajo churro. And can you go to a different place so I'm not hearing myself talk? You can go upstairs. My son has just tuned in and is watching my video in the same room as me, and it's very distracting. They're excited that I'm doing a video. Okay, so this one, like I said, this is Navajo churro, and I left it because this was kind of a witchy themed set, and I kind of liked how it looked. So after I processed it, this is all like the Luxe end, but I let it kind of stay kinky like this and like this. But I also can wait till it dries, and then I can brush it out just gently. I'm just going to gently brush it out. And you kind of want to, it is well melted, but I always, when I'm doing that, if I'm causing any tension to it, I always kind of just hold it at a connection spot. And then I just brush it, comb it, do not brush it actually. And then a lot of times when you comb it, it will get kind of frizzy like this. Then you just dip it in some water or you spray it with some water. I'll show you. And then they will be unfrizzed and good for another wear. So this is kind of how it looks when it's like that. Okay, it's a very similar hair to this one. They are different hairs, but it's very similar. And then one of these, so let me show you this one. This one is really short, so you know, basically you're connecting here, so you're just leaving yourself a little bit here. And they do come they do vary in sizes a little bit, but this one is very short. It's like, this is like 5 inches. So I'm getting only maybe 3 inches of actual Luxe end. But let me show you what I created from that, because it is kind of cool. I created, let me move this because it's wet. I created this Beetlejuice from it. And this is kind of how those shorties came out. Get it right in the camera. Here we go. Looks so cute. It actually makes me think of Grinch fingers, so I'm considering maybe doing a Grinch set with this particular kind of Luxe end. But I know a lot of people are doing it, so I'm not sure how many people actually will be buying Luxe end. This is an autumn color. They're both on the same hanger, hanging out, but this was kind of, this part is part of the Beetlejuice set. Anyway, that was kind of fun to do. Luxe ends are fun, but they're a lot of work. Okay, so now sometimes I do a set where, let's say I'm doing a full set, I might do like 25 regular wispy ends and then 25 Luxe ends. And then that way, you know, because it is expensive to get wool locks. You will find you're getting like 1 ounce. Like, let me show you. Like, this is like this is 1 ounce. And that's probably like, that was like $15. She got it from a friend who got it from a seller in the UK. So then you pay the shipping too. So for just this, and this is not a full head. I mean, I could maybe split some of these bigger locks, but this is only like, you know, this is maybe 10, 15 locks. If you're going to do a full head, you need 2 of them. So then you're upwards of $30, $40, $50 with shipping just to get Luxe ends. So I'm trying something new, and we're going to experiment together on this, because I do have one more I want to play with. If I didn't mention before, this is Wensleydale. I like it because it's like already curly and it's very hair-like. But here's what we're going to do. I recently ordered off Amazon, actually, I got some human hair tape-in extensions. And I already kind of opened it up because I was taking a look at it. So I'm going to see, because honestly, it is about the same price, if not more, or if not less, and way more accessible to do human hair extensions on my woolies. And I thought of this because I don't know if you watched my other videos, but I was I have recently, or in the last few months, put wool dreadlocks crocheted into my natural locks. And once you, after you crochet them, then you just palm roll them with wet felt them in. And they have been in for, I think I'm on my third month, and they're beautiful. So, kind of just look here, little, there we go. Okay, so I think I just need one tape in per lock. So what I'm thinking is I want to tease this. Let's see if I can find, I'm going to use this right here. Let's see, where do I want to connect it to? I'm going to connect it to the side of this mat here. So I think if I tease this, this is not the right comb, but let's see if it works for right now. Let's see. This again is an experiment. I mean, I have a good idea of what I'm doing here, but I'm definitely kind of just playing with this and seeing how well these will work. And this one could even, you could even probably go in with a crochet hook and just do a quick, if you do any crochet, I mean, you could just do a little simple basket weave just at the base of this, just to kind of hold it in one spot. I'll go a little bit further here. I got this is a 12-inch. I thought about getting the 10-inch because I didn't need super long, but then I thought, well, if I want a 12-inch extension, then I would need to have, or if I wanted a 10-inch extension, I would need to have 12-inch, because then 2 inches I would connect to the wool. So I decided to go with this is not the best because this is not very fine tooth. This is kind of like medium tooth. That's okay. I think I'm going to have kind of what I need here. So I'm going to cut off this part here. All right. Perfect. I think that's going to go perfectly. I missed one piece. Oh, no. Okay. That's okay. All right. Might need to shorten this a little bit. There we go. Fan this out. And then this is kind of, I'm just going to kind of fan this out. There's a tiny bit of glue still from the tape, I think. But I think it'll be fine. And then I'm seeing it's still kind of like, let's fan it out a bit more here. Let's see. I guess right now, in this case, I am not crocheting this. I'm just going to do this like I do my regular ones. And let's just see how it comes out, okay? So I'm just going to fold like I do. This may not be enough for the hair, because human hair doesn't felt the way this does. So this may not be the way to do it. And I don't, did I? I don't know if oh, I did. So let's just see how this works. I mean, it's not pulling out, so I guess that's good. We're off to a good start. In this live, I knew that I was doing this, but I did not pull out my crochet stuff. So where can I find that real fast? Where's my crochet needles? I haven't been crocheting as much lately. I'm just extra rolling that. It's probably not necessary. So this is nice and long, human hair, Luxe end. It will, so my intention, I've kind of looked into this. I have read that since usually we use hair dye to dye hair, and we use acid dye to dye woolies, which I will do a video on how I dye the wool. But I did read briefly that I can use acid dye on human hair. It will work. So I'm going to experiment and try that. The only thing is because off Amazon, sometimes human hair might be processed with other stuff, even though it says 100% human hair. I like to think that this particular brand that I've worked with before is actually truthful in what they say. But if there's anything on here that could process, I mean, dyeing it or hair dye or acid dye may affect how it comes out. But the cool thing is, even though these are slightly different colors, it does kind of mean that when I color it, when I dye it, I'll get different tones. And sometimes I like that. Like sometimes when I make a wool set, I will use different color, like they might all be a white, but there might be like a yellowish white or a cream white or an off white. And when I do that, it'll be, it'll kind of give different tones to the wool, and that helps give some dimension because unlike human hair dye, wool is acid dye and it really is just one toned, which can be very, you know, if you're trying to match someone's hair color, you have to just kind of pick a color that you're trying to match. So I find there are different ways to dye it with different wool and different ways of putting it in the water or in the dye bath that will have it get a little bit more color. So let's try another one here. Let's see here. This is also a little long. Let's see here. More. Let me grab another one of these. Okay, here. Just stepped over here. I was seeing if I could easily find one of my crochet hooks because that would have been fun to try, but I'm not gonna go look for it right now. Okay. Trying to just get all the hair in there. I'm just gonna tease this. I'm just looking. I think I put questions on, so I don't see any questions so far. People are just looking. Hopefully I'm just being as informative as we need to. Okay. Cut it off the tab. Now, I used like extra wool that I had, and it was already sectioned. So these are pretty long because I think these were already 20 inches. So I'm adding basically 10 inches to it. So I'm making 30, but I will likely texturize this, and as it gets bumpy, it probably will shrink. So we'll take a look at what the actual size is once I'm done with these two. We'll measure them, and then that'll give me an idea of, uh-oh, I'm losing pieces here. That's what happens when you don't glue them. I didn't tease that one quite as much. Okay. Now the good news is I do know that even if I'm not crocheting, that may not have the best grip on it initially, but I know that as I wear my hair, and if you are a wool hair, if you wear wool braid-ins, you probably know that if you leave them in long enough, your hair will felt to the wool at the root. So I am hopeful that this will eventually felt on itself too. And maybe even more so when I run it, when I process this wool. So let's see here. Ooh, this got long. Okay, so this is my Luxe end with human hair. This is my Luxe end with the wool. Okay, let's measure and see how they came out. And then I know how much I need to manipulate the wool if I want it to be a certain length. Okay. There. Okay. There's my handy dandy yardstick. Okay, you guys can see all the way at the end. So this got to 29 inches. And this one got to, at the longest, 25 inches, 24, 25 inches. So both of those are longer than I usually wear. I think with my, but some people do like it that length, and I'm still probably going to process. So what I'll probably do is, I'm not going to do it right now while I'm live because I'm not set up to do that. But what I probably will do is a hot water, soapy water bath, and I'll put them in, and then I'll take them out and I will do my hand manipulations. Even with the human hair, hand manipulations, could probably even like do it a little bit here. It will get your hair messy, but once it dries, you can just brush it out just like I did with those other locks. But this will, as you can see, this will already kink it up. But because these aren't wet, it's just going to make them fuzzy. So then I just made them fuzzy now. But that's okay. And then this also, do it like this. And then that'll also kink them up. The more they get kinked up, the little less length that they have, because obviously the wool's getting compressed into different little pieces. And you probably could throw these in the washer and use a washer method. I'm always really careful with the washer method, especially with ways when I've done connecting stuff, because I think it's not as gentle. Even though I do use the delicate cycle when I do it, it doesn't, I have no control over it while it's in there. So for me, you know, it could get too, the problem is you could get like too short. Like if you have making something for someone, or you want it to be a certain length and it gets too short. Whereas when I do it in a bowl with my own hands, it will, I can pull it apart. I could do a little bit and then pull it apart and see how long it is. And then I can do more if I need more, or I can just stop. Or even the other thing that you can do is if you get it a little too kinky, where you're hand doing it before it's dry, or you could re-dip it, you could just pull it a little bit and some of that will straighten out as it dries. So that is the benefit of doing it yourself, among all these other reasons, but that is definitely a benefit of doing it like that. So let's see, I know I have 2 of these. So these are the ones I wanted to show you. Hopefully that was informative to anyone that has been looking for Luxe ends. Hopefully this video saves. I'm still kind of learning. This is my first live. So I'm still kind of learning what works on YouTube and how it all goes down. So thank you for watching, and definitely comment if you want to, and let me know any thoughts, or if you have any critiques, if you have more questions. Does it work to do a live, or would you rather me just have regular videos that you can view? All right, take care. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you.